right, guys, we are in the middle of, it's hard to see. Oh, well. Of our Emotional Intelligence 2.0 book. And we were going through the different competencies, and I feel like this is getting to the next stage of a good level. So we're in chapter 4. I'm here with my great friend Scott, and we are starting to dive into my emotional intelligence action plan. And some of these we'll actually try to dig in for you as well. But it does say, taking the test at the back, which we were just talking about, is kind of the first recommended step. You got to know your starting point, right?
Yep, that's right. You got to know what you're dealing with.
You got to see your room for growth. Yeah.
Yes, and I found that I took mine 6 years ago when I first read this book. I think I was introduced to it at the Willow Creek Leadership Summit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and if you go to Talent Smart,
yeah,
EQ as an emotional quotient, talentsmarteq.com, you'll find it.
Yeah. So
not my test. You won't find my test, but you'll find a test for you to take.
Not to just put ourselves out there, but maybe by the end we'll have both taken the test again, or for the first time, and share with you how the test went.
Yes.
So we can unpack it a little bit that way as well. All right.
I like in the beginning of section 4 how they compare the flow of energy in your brain to like traffic flow, like cars flowing smoothly on one side or the other. And basically what they're saying, and it's kind of the premise of the book, is that the more you practice the skills, which we're about to get into, the better that traffic will flow. And they use the word called plasticity or neuroplasticity, which I've used that at Celebrate Recovery. Basically means that your brain is able to learn new tricks. It is possible to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes, if you allow it, you're open to it, and you are working towards it, it can absolutely happen. I do think it's interesting, I mean, it sounds funny to say, but it is rewiring the brain. I think it's almost unfathomable to say a single cell can grow 15,000 connections with its neighbor. That's just one cell. So I'm not going to go past that.
Yeah, that's probably wise. And the authors draw the comparison to like when you lift weights. If you do curls with heavy weights, your biceps will get bigger. But they say that it doesn't quite happen like that with your brain, because your skull, of course, limits the size of your brain. So your brain doesn't grow bigger.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we'd have an issue. But what happens is all these connections, Nathan, that you're referring to start to occur from one to another. Right.
So in this chapter, it does jump into simple strategy measures. So first is take the test, see where you're at, because you do want to just pick one area that you'll want to grow in. One of the 4 EQ areas. So one is internal, like self-awareness. One is outward, like social awareness. And then pick 3 strategies, which we'll go through in the next chapter, I believe, right?
Yep.
3 strategies to begin, where you're going to really work on your plasticity.
That's right. And then you continue to work through those strategies, and you're basically practicing. You're practicing your EQ skills so that you can grow in this area. They do. This sounds a lot like recovery to me. They encourage you to choose. They literally say an EQ mentor.
That's right. So or it can be It can be a sponsor.
An EQ sponsor. That's right.
In the word of our Celebrate Recovery language.
That's right.
I do feel like the crossover is, if not this exactly the same, so close as to be able to not necessarily pick out that many differences. Because in sponsorship, we are talking about habit change, talking about changing the pathways in the brain, right?
That's right. And just like Celebrate Recovery, step 5 as you develop this plan, expect success, but not perfection.
That's right. It can be the enemy. The perfection can be the enemy of even practice itself, because you give up because you don't ever feel like you're getting perfect in it.
That's right.
So practice, practice, practice.
Yep. And then again, I love this because on one hand, it's so basic, just like what we teach at Celebrate Recovery. It's very foundational. The next step is to just be patient, give it some time. They even put a time frame, like a few months, to start seeing some lasting change. And then finally, number 6 is measure your progress. Now, measure your progress. Do we measure in numbers? Do we need numbers as a goal? How do we do that? I think measuring is like how we're taking a look at, on the skill I'm developing. I need to watch myself. As they say, one of the skills, watch yourself like a hawk. And so I'm measuring my progress by seeing how did I do with that difficult interaction?
Yeah.
With that difficult person like Nathan that I work with. How did I do in that interaction? So we're going to measure our progress. So anyway, very basic, but that's usually what works, right?
Yeah. And since we're in the lens of Celebrate Recovery, I would put number 7 as celebrate, because, celebrating progress, it does also help rewire the brain. It kind of solidifies the new process that you go on, kind of confirming that you have done well, you've done the right thing, you're moving in the right direction. So they didn't ask me to put number 7 down, but
they should have. They should have. So, and they get very specific. Again, on page 57, review the strategies for the EQ skill you selected and list up to 3 that you will practice. And then they asked you to list who your EQ mentor is. I mean, it's like the founders of Celebrate Recovery sat down, with Travis Bradberry and Gene Greaves and worked this out together.
I just think it's one of those things that got us doing. It's just, growth is it's not just for like highly intelligent, it's not for some main complicated form. When you look on page 56, 57, 58, you see these little you can't see it, Mom. There are little slots to fill in. It's not like they're asking you to do higher math. They're not asking you to even write out an essay, simple things. It's just putting the pieces together is what brings it all about. The simple steps where it is practice, having someone to walk along with you along the way. So.
Absolutely. All right. Good stuff. Well, that takes us right to
to the strategy.
They do ask you to do a follow-up, which I need to do now. My follow-up 6 years later from when I did my first one. And I'm hoping that I've grown since then. But that's,
so when I take it, I'll wait 5 years and then I'll take it again.
There you go. So anyway, yes, you were saying that takes us to chapter 5, self-awareness strategies, and there's 15. So we'll do 5 at a time in our next 3 videos.
Yeah. Otherwise, we do encourage you to pick up. It is such a simple book. Take the tests with us even. Let us know how that's going, or we'd love to see you at Celebrate Recovery. We're getting more people back. It's exciting. we're down in the hub at 7 o'clock on Monday nights, and we'd love to see you there.
All right, here at Christ Community Church. But you probably knew that already, but just in case, hang in there, keep going, do the next right thing, grow in your EQ, and we'll see you for the next video.